Hey everyone, Nick here at Luxe Blades headquarters in Texas at Grandscapes. I want to talk to you today about maintenance. We've been talking about maintenance a lot, and one thing we strive ourselves on is telling people turf is not a set it and forget it type of thing. There's a stigma about artificial turf that, oh, you put it in and it's done. You don't have to worry about it, okay? So the first thing we're going to talk about are weeds or grasses growing up through the turf. Um, this is mostly due to installation error, but sometimes it's not. It's due to nature. So what I want to talk to you about are when you're installing the turf, you need to dig out the right amount of soil, remove the grass. Then you're going to spray it with something. Spray it with a ground killer, ground clear, whatever. Just be cognizant of your surroundings to make sure that it's not going to affect the neighbor's grass or their bushes, their shrubs, whatever it is. Make sure that the chemical will not hurt children, pets, uh, leach into the groundwater. There's a lot of different things that we do as a company at Lux Blades is make sure none of this is going to affect the environment around, right? So we either put a ground clear or we put weed fabric. So typically we will do a weed fabric unless there's a lot of pets, and we do not recommend it. Some customers say go ahead and do that. We will, but we'd rather not for drainage issues. So, what we typically do is excavate, put down a weed barrier, put the decomposed granite or the 3/8 minus crushed concrete, whatever we're using in whatever part of the country that we're installing in, and we take care of that, right? So we compact it, then we put the turf on top, and we'll use our EnviroFill infill for the top. So, what happens when you see artificial turf have weeds or grass coming up through whenever you've taken your precautions? Well, what happens is Mother Nature. So, birds come flying by, they poop. Well, it may have had a seed in it, and it literally will sprout, right? The wind, the wind will bring in grass or weeds from anywhere, right? And just set it right there on top. A little water comes in, and now, hey, it's going to start growing. So, and a lot of like the greenways that we do and stuff like that with the black wrought iron fences that so you can see around. What happens on that aspect is they have the HOAs or a commercial landscaping company that does not bag. And what happens is they're going by and they have their mower set and it's just throwing grass and seed everywhere. Well, guess what? It's going in your flower beds. It's going on top of your turf. So it becomes a issue. We like to recommend maybe the first at least 8 inches. Take and put a little screen around the black fence. That way, it's still within your HOA guidelines, and it helps prevent the weeds and grass from starting. And then, if you do happen to get grass and weeds in your artificial turf, spray them. It will not void the warranty on the turf. Spray them, let them die, and then pull them out. What you're doing is you're training that grass or that weed not to grow there again. What a lot of people do is they see a weed, they see a grass, they pull it. And right when they pull it, yeah, it's great for that time, but it's not going to do anything, right? It could grow back because there's part of the root in there. So what you have to do is kill it first, let it sit there, Let it get brown and ugly and nasty, then pull it. And that way you're training it. So then we have a lot of things like nut sedge, right? Nut sedge around here is very invasive. It's tough to kill. Their root system is anywhere from 14 to 18 inches deep. So if you have an installation company, I had a guy call me the other day and said, we used this other installation company and we don't think they did it right. We just have these weeds. I said, well, show me a picture. And I said, unfortunately, sir, that's nut sedge and it grows wherever it wants. Yeah, but they scalped the yard. And, I said, right. They did what was required. The 4 to 6 inches, they removed it. It's not the installation company's fault. And so not only does Luxe Blades, help the customers, we're not bashing other companies out there. We're trying to say, look, they did it correctly. They can't predict that there's a nut sedge root 14 to 18 inches deep because no artificial turf company is digging that deep. Let's just be honest. So, we try to have everybody's back here in the industry, especially jobs that are done correctly. So it's one of those things is that there is no competitors in our eyes. We want to help others, and we feel like that's a beneficial in the industry to help other companies as well, because we're one big team. That's what I want for the industry, is one big team, so that way it's installed correctly every time. So on something like that, typically what we would like to do is pull back the turf with the nut sedge, pull back the turf, and honestly, put some rock salt on top of that. Compact it back into the base, water it really well, maybe put another layer of rock salt, compact it, put the turf back down, and really that's the only thing that you can do with nut sedge. It's just so tough. So that's on that aspect. The next aspect is, we're like, well, do you offer maintenance? Yes, we offer maintenance. What do you do? Well, it all depends. We try to tell people that you need to power broom your turf at least once a month. Well, let me pull. If you have pets, once a month. If you don't have pets, once a quarter. So what this does is it gets the leaves and the debris that's down in your turf. We have this special power broom, and it gets down in the turf. It leaves the infill, but it's taking all the impurities out of the turf. So now what does that do? It helps it drain better. So I want to add these slides here to show you this. So look at this. This is a picture taken by Jose Garza in Clovis, California, Fresno area. He's an expert on turf cleaning, and he sent me this picture, and you can see all the pet hair that he got in debris out of this customer's yard. So, yeah, it's great if you spray it, but if the pet is shedding hair every day, that part never got sprayed. And what it does is it gets in between the fibers and it prevents it from it makes it poor drainage. And so then it's going to stink when urine gets on it. It's a horrible situation. So this is for any residential and commercial applications that have pets. Please, once a month. We have a lot of pet boarding facilities. They'll power wash. That is absolutely incorrect. Don't recommend it. It's not the right way to clean turf. So the right way is to power broom it just like this. As you can see here on the screen, that's a pet hair, and that's one pet in one backyard. So what I would recommend on if you have a pet boarding facility, once a week, have someone take the broom to it, or have us come out and take a broom to it. We would even teach you how to do it. We will teach you how to maintain your turf for a fee, but we'll teach you how to do this so that way not only is it going to drain better or perform better and smell better, but your turf is going to last longer, protecting your investment. It's no different than buying insurance for car. Okay? Our maintenance plans is basically the insurance for your turf. We want your turf to look good the day it was installed. We want it to perform that way. So that way you get the most out of your turf, especially if you're a pet boarding facility, right? You're spending all this money, thousands and thousands of dollars, and putting this artificial turf in. Well, don't you think it should be protected? And don't you think you should clean it the correct way instead of just spraying it and be done? So a lot of people think that you can just spray some simple green on it, spray this or that on it, and you're good. You're set. Never have to worry about it again. That's false. As you can see here, the pet hair and everything like that is getting trapped in the fibers, and it's inhibiting all the drainage and everything. And not to mention, could contain some bad viruses or anything like that. So you don't want that at a pet boarding facility or at your home. You want the turf to be a safe spot. So enough of the pets. Just want you to see that. And then this is some pictures that I took when I cleaned an indoor sports facility. So this indoor sports facility had been there for about 3 years, never been cleaned, never been touched. Well, the turf was looking really bad. So, and since I said that, let me talk to you about your turf is going to ugly out before it wears out. So, if you maintain it, you're making the life of the turf last longer. So, we came in here, we cleaned this indoor facility. As you can see to the right, on the right with the grate under it. So what is that? That is our special artificial turf cleaning machine that we pull behind our John Deere Gator. And what it does is it has these vibratory plates in it, and it will shake the infill through those holes, but it keeps the other stuff, the trash, on top, so then we can scoop it up and take it out. So as you can see here, we've got Band-Aids. We picked up some bolts, some hairpins, and the bolts were actually from when they were making the netting adjustments up overhead in the facility. There was a bolt in there. And so we got that out of it. But Band-Aids, sunflower seeds, even though they have signs up there says no sunflower seeds, obviously people don't listen. They still take in sunflower seeds. Gum, all sorts of stuff. It's nasty. And you see a lot of hair on that one as well with some turf fibers, right? So let's move on to the one with my hand up above the red power broom. So we have a red Toro power broom that we power broom this indoor facility with first before we drug it. So actually, what's crazy is that picture to the right with the grate under it with our, that machine that we pulled behind, that's after 2 passes with a power broom. It still picked up that much hair. So we picked up a total of 6 hairballs, big hairballs like you see in my hand, on with the power broom. And you can just see, it's nasty. It is absolutely nasty. You wouldn't think that that's would be in your turf, but it is because it wasn't properly maintained. So it's going to smell. It's going to perform bad. Anything that gets up in those fibers other than the infill is bad for your turf. So we came in here and he was thinking about literally replacing his turf. And he had hired us. We were the last, his last resort, right? So I looked at it before and I told him, I said, I think we can do this. I think we can make it look, I don't know about looking as good as it did whenever it first got installed, but I think we can improve it. So we came out there, we improved it. Now, instead of him spending another couple $100,000 for his indoor facility replacing turf, okay, he paid us 20 grand to come in here and take care of his facility. And it took us about 4 days. And so when we came in here and we sprayed it and disinfected it as well. But first we had to get all of this nasty stuff up first. And when we got done with the field, it was just like brand new again. And I told him, I said, look, I mean, obviously there's some spots that are wearing out faster than others because of the lack of maintenance, but you're going to get another 2 to 3 years out of this turf surface as long as you have us maintain it once a quarter. If you have us maintain it once a quarter, you're going to get another 2 to 3 years out of it. And obviously it wouldn't be $20,000. That was because it was just so bad. We had to come in and literally just fix everything and make it look like brand new. So now he's going to pay $1,600 every quarter, and his turf is going to last at least another 3 years. So, I mean, it's saving him hundreds of thousands of dollars now. And just think about it, if he would have had us maintenance it from the very beginning. If he would have had us maintenance this from the very beginning, it would have solved a lot of issues. A lot of sports complexes I see around here, if you go to them, they look wore out even after a year. Well, that's because the installation companies don't really teach them about the maintenance. And a lot of city parks and cities, what happens is they don't know how to maintenance their artificial turf. And so it starts looking bad. And it's no fault of the cities, is because they don't know any better. But the turf companies will say, well, was it maintained? Well, can I see your maintenance reports, your monthly maintenance reports? I don't know. We don't have them. Well, it voids the warranty of the turf. And so then these cities are dishing out millions of dollars. So if you can come there as a company and say, hey, look, I mean, this is what we do. Come in there and say, hey, look, let us protect your investment. And they pay us to come in there and maintain their turf. I mean, not only are we maintaining their turf, it's also showing that there's no negligence going on their sports facility, that they want their sports facility to be top notch every time, you know. And it goes back to a story of that I got of a client that we installed turf about 5 years ago, and it was for a preschool, and it's also on one of my other videos that I talk about it, because it just happened a couple of weeks ago. I got a call from the guy and said, hey, we're getting sued because a little girl literally tripped over her own feet. She went like this to, block her fall, and broke her arm. Typical. I mean, it happens, right? Kids are kids. I mean, I still trip over my own feet as an adult. So now they're getting sued because they think it's the surface. It's the surface problem. So what we did is we went in there when we installed the turf. We provided all the testing data for the turf, for the pad, because you got to put a pad underneath of it for fall height restrictions. We did all of this. And we had on video. We take pictures of every step of the process. And what this did was it helped in the case, showing them that they did everything correctly. They weren't negligent on anything. And now they're not having to, pay out money on getting sued. They won the case. So I just want you to, maintenance is a huge thing, whether it be from residential to commercial. What we like to do is we have a couple things, right? So after we broom it up, we spray either, well, we like to spray some oxyturf on it, right? First to kind of disinfect it, get it done. And then after we do that, we'll come back and put some VibraShield. And so VibraShield only has to be applied once every 5 years. So yeah, it's a little bit bigger investment up front, just like turf, right? When you install turf. But what this does, what VibraShield does, and it's Extract Odor, powered by VibraShield. And what it does is you spray it on the turf, infill, everything, right? Just spray it, just go across. It will take out 90% or over 90% of the harmful VOCs that rubber infill produces, that turf can produce, the urine smells, the odor, and stuff like that. And within 72 hours after spraying it, smells great. It's fresh air, no harmful VOCs, no urine smell. And so, yeah, that's a little bit more, but it's going to last for 5 years. So now all you have to do is whenever you brush your turf is I would still spray some oxyturf over the top to just keep it clean. And that's it, right? So one time with the VibraShield every 5 years, and then continuously with the oxyturf over the top, just to maintain. And what this does is gives you a great surface all the time. So, I mean, if you have questions at all, feel free to contact us 972-895-8444. We would love to hear from you. Help coach you on the maintenance aspect of the turf. And I really think that this is it's a subject that doesn't get talked about a lot on the maintenance side. So, and one thing with the VibraShield that I like to point out as well, it's really good to do it on your turf because not only does it protect your turf and make the fiber stronger and last longer and protects it from harmful UV, which is absolutely insane as it's protecting your turf from mold, mildew, anything like that, but it also decreases the temperature. After the temperature gets above an ambient temperature of 90 degrees, it reduces the surface temperature by 26%. So Luxe Blades is, we're always wanting to stay ahead of the game, and we want to be the best in the business. And this is what we do is we research, we test, so that way we know what we're saying is factual and produces real results. So if you want real results for your turf maintenance, get with us, Luxe Blades, Extract Odor, and we would love to help you. So thanks for watching. And like I said, guys and gals, if you have any questions, concerns, anything like that, give us a call. We're always here to help. Thanks again.